All right, guys, I have a really important debate to break right now. Now, let me explain it to you. We flew out here, and we're going to be here the 14th to the 18th. Now, on a calendar, that's 4 days, right? 4 days. But doing the math while I've been here, it's actually 5 days. Now, I don't what the problem with me is there's some like hole in the freaking universe right there for me, because 4 days on a calendar is 4 days to me. That's 4 days. There's not a fifth one. So how am I here for 5 days? I landed the 14th, the 15th. So that's a day. I was here the 14th of the day. 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. How the fuck is it 5 days? So that's what I think. It doesn't make sense. There's a hole in the universe. What do you think?
Okay. It kind of sounds like you just proved yourself right. You just kind of 14, 15.
That's what I'm saying.
16, 17, 18. Right? And then, but yes, 14
what
plus
you're doing
4
is
18.
You're adding the 14th as a day.
Because it is a day on a calendar.
On the calendar it is. But what we're doing is, since we're starting on the 14th, it's really between the 13th and the 18th.
Well, all right, hold on.
It's not though.
It is.
No, it's not.
I wouldn't say the 13th. The 13th isn't involved.
The 14th day has to end. That's where you start your 1. Then it goes to the 18th. That's the 4 days. But because we're using the 14th as a day, it's really 5 days because we're at the end of the 13th.
The 1 starts when the 14th begins.
So 1 starts when the 14th begins, because that's
no,
the
because
day.
that's using the 14th. So that's that we're on the 14th. So all right, if you go 14th and you stop on the line of the 18th, then that's 4 days. But if the 18th starts and you're using the 18th, then that's 5 days.
Well, no, because if it starts,
because it stops at the 19th now.
If 1 starts on the 14th, it's still 5 days. 14, that's 1. 15, 16, 17, 18, that's 5. The 14th is 1. When the 14th begins, that is when day 1 begins.
Bingo.
But that's the first day after the 13th.
Yeah, I know that. We've established that. We're all on that same page. That is the first day.
If you take,
and that's the first day and date, and that's when we're here.
But the 18th is 4 days later.
Yeah.
Well,
no, actually, the 18th is 3 days later than the 14th.
Wait, what? No, how's it 3 days later?
Because the 14th is already what it is. So 3 days from now, it'll be the 18th.
All right. So even if it would be 4 then.
Well, that's
because if we're taking the 14th out of the equation, we still got the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th. So then that's 4. And that's just taking the 14th out of the equation.
So guys, that's what it is?
Well, no, it's 5 days.
But it's still 5 days, yeah. Because then that'd be 3 days, yeah. See, I don't understand why you're not on my page, dude.
I'm thinking mathematically, and I deal with computers, so
But I'm thinking mathematically, too.
Yeah, but I understand the use of the value of 0, in a sense.
Yeah, I know, we established that.
Okay. So I can see it as, if you look on an actual calendar, you can see the 14th being the day, and then the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. They're individual days. If I was to say how many days are between the 14th and the 18th, that would be 4, but the 14th is done at that point.
No, there's 3 days between the 14th and the 18th.
Right? I agree with that.
Yeah, okay, but if you're just counting, the 15th, 16th, 17th, those 3 days,
See, it makes it even worse when we start thinking like that. Because then we would only been here for 3 days.
Technically,
if what you're saying is the value of 0, then 14th is the value of 0.
Yes.
And then looking at a calendar.
But we're here on the 18th, so that's...
Looking at a calendar, that would be 3 days, but in reality, it's 5 days. So now it's 3 days if we use the... That sucks.
We have spent we will only have spent a full 24 hours here for 3 days.
Yeah. Yes. That's...
Well, yeah. That's true.
I rest my case.
We started off the 14th to 18th being 5 days, and now we ended on 3 days.
If we're using the value of 0.
That's just how many days we were here. So technically, we've only been here for 3 days and some change. As all put together, the change being when we arrived here, the 14th, and however much longer we're here, the 18th.
That's still. I'm never gonna figure this one out, dude. It doesn't make sense. But in conclusion, doesn't make sense. Only to Joe.